Every business obsesses over its prices, right? But what if the price tag itself is actually the wrong thing to be focusing on? Today, we're going to dive into a huge shift in how companies think, seeing price not as the final goal, but as just one piece of a much bigger, much more valuable puzzle. And honestly, getting this right is pretty much key to any company's long-term success. So, first, let me ask you something. When you picture a really successful company, what do you think its most valuable asset is? I mean, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Is it their giant factories, their secret patents and tech? Maybe it's the products themselves. Now, all of that stuff is super important for sure, but the real answer, it might actually surprise you. Yep, the answer, without a doubt, is the customers. That's right. The smartest, most successful businesses today have figured out that their single most precious resource is the group of people who choose to buy from them and then choose to do it again and again. And this leads us to this really cool idea called customer equity. Now, this isn't about looking backward at last month's sales report. Forget that. Customer equity is all about looking forward. Think of it like a crystal ball for your business. It represents the total potential profit a company can expect to make from its entire customer base over the entire lifetime of their relationship. And this is exactly why they're the most valuable asset. Just think about it for a second. Every single dollar a company earns, whether it's today or 10 years from now, ultimately comes from a customer. When you start to see them that way, they stop being just individual transactions and they become this one massive, vital financial asset that you have to nurture and grow. This here shows that strategic shift perfectly. The old school way of thinking was all about managing a portfolio of products, but the new way, it's about managing a portfolio of customers. It's like each customer is a small investment, and the company's job is to manage that investment efficiently to get those amazing long-term returns. Okay, so if we all agree customers are this super valuable asset, the big question is, how do you actually measure and grow that value? Well, it turns out customer equity isn't just one simple number. It's actually built on three distinct pillars that all have to work together. And these are the three big drivers. First, you've got value equity. That's all about logic. Then there's brand equity. That's the emotional side of things. And finally, relationship equity, which is really all about loyalty. So let's quickly break down what each of these really means. First up is value equity. You can think of this as the head part of any decision. It's the customer's rational, logical, almost cold calculation. They're looking at a product and asking, okay, based on the price, the quality, and how easy it is to get, is this a good deal? It's their totally unbiased take on what's being offered. Next is brand equity. And if the last one was the head, this is all heart. This is that intangible, fuzzy value a brand name adds that's completely separate from what the product actually does. It's that subjective, emotional feeling a customer has about the brand, and it's shaped by things like its reputation or its ethics. And finally, there's relationship equity. You could kind of think of this as the glue that holds it all together. It's the strength of the bond between the customer and the company. Things like loyalty programs, special treatment, and great service, they all build this kind of equity and make customers want to stick around for the long haul. All right, so for now, let's zoom in on that very first pillar, value equity. So why start here? Well, it's because this is where that price tag has its most direct and logical impact on what a customer decides to do. At its very core, value equity boils down to a super simple calculation that every single one of us makes, a lot of the time without even realizing it. We're constantly weighing what we get, the benefits, the quality, against everything we have to give up to get it. And here's a really key insight, that sacrifice isn't just about the money. Yeah, the price is a huge part of it, of course, but customers are also sacrificing their personal time to find the product and their mental energy to research it and make a decision. That all counts. This quote from the source material just sums it up perfectly. Value isn't some objective number you can find on a spreadsheet. It's a perception. It's the customer's own personal feeling about whether the sacrifice they made was actually worth what they got in return. So, with that in mind, let's drill down into the most tangible part of that sacrifice, the price itself. When a customer is doing that rational math in their head, their perception of value is shaped by three main things. Price is obviously a massive driver, but it's always being balanced against the product's quality and the convenience of getting it. It's how these three things work together that creates that final feeling of whether something is a good deal or not. And yeah, while time and effort are definitely real sacrifices, the price is the one that's the most tangible, right?
It's the concrete number that makes that whole trade-off feel immediate and very, very real in the customer's mind.
So this all leads to a really fundamental choice that every single business has to make. Knowing that price is a sacrifice for the customer, how should a company go about setting it? It turns out there are two completely different ways to think about this. On one side, you have the sales perspective. This is the classic short-term view that's all about jacking up prices to maximize profit on every single transaction. But on the other side, you have the relationship perspective, which sees the customer as a partner and focuses on building mutual trust and creating value over the long haul. And the evidence is really clear on this one, that short-sighted focus on just getting the highest price possible is simply bad business. In fact, it's literally classified as poor customer asset management because it treats the customer like a resource to be mined, not an asset to be cultivated. The relationship perspective, on the other hand, is built on this fantastic concept called dual value creation. The goal is no longer just to sell something. It's to create a situation where the customer gets fantastic value, which in turn creates lasting value for the company through their loyalty and repeat business. So ultimately, smart pricing isn't about winning some kind of one-time negotiation. It's about starting a collaborative win-win partnership where the price feels fair to the customer and actually strengthens the relationship for years to come. And that really leaves us with a final thought. The next time you think about pricing, whether it's for your own business or just a company you buy from, ask yourself this one fundamental question. Is this strategy just designed to close a sale today? Or is it designed to build the most valuable asset of all, a loyal customer?